So now I'm recording. And I want to hear I want participation. You guys were doing really well on participation on Friday and Thursday when we were doing algebra problems. I know you guys like algebra, so that's why you were participating. But let's challenge ourselves to participate a lot here as well, because some of these have algebra in them anyways. Such as problem number 1. So right away, we get some algebra. For problem number 1, what should I do first?
Set up our equation.
Let's set it up. What is my equation going to be?
3x, 2x.
Does it matter what order?
3x plus 1. No, it doesn't.
It does not matter what order, because either way you're making them equal to each other. So you could have done it the other way around. You'll still get the same answer. All right, so now I'm solving. What do I do?
Subtract 2x. Bring it to the left.
Okay. And what do I get?
Oh, 1x.
1x plus 1 equals 10. Jalen's already jumping in with a final answer. All right, Jalen, if you know that the answer is C, then you tell me what do I have to do next?
Jalen, stop stealing my answers.
Jalen, you got to be able to explain it.
Okay, next what we do, you subtract the 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get 1x is equal to 9. Then you divide that by 1.
Which just gives you
9.
9. All right, and then
And
how
then you
did you
plug it
get
back in.
How did you get answer choice C?
Multiply.
I think I heard Tyrone say it as well. We're going to plug it back in. We're looking for Q, which is the same as F. So you could plug it into whichever one you want, but let's just plug it into the one for Q. 3 times 9 is 27, and 27 plus 1.
28.
28.
Yeah, C is correct.
Big
Good
brain.
job. Give me a thumbs up if you got C. Big brain.
Big brain.
Awesome job. All right. So a problem like this will definitely show up. Sometimes they ask you for the angle measurement. Sometimes it'll be asking for the perimeter. You just have to read carefully to know what it's asking about. Challenge problem number 2. Which postulate or theorem can be used to prove that ABC is congruent to DCB?
A.
Easy.
SSS. You got BD,
SSS.
BC, and then you have BC.
Yeah, what's the third? How do I know that BC is congruent to itself?
Reflexive property.
Reflexive. SSS is the only one that works. Yeah, this is not too bad. Any questions on this one?
Definitely not.
Good. Which theorems are false or fake news? Which ones are not real?
SSA.
SSA, and there's one more.
AAA.
AAA. Yeah. So remember, if you see that come up, fake news doesn't work. All right, number 3. Can I get a volunteer to read the problem?
Wait. Me.
Yes? Okay, go ahead, Tyrone.
Angie states the following. Given 2 triangles, if 2 pairs of corresponding sides and 1 pair of corresponding angles are congruent, then the triangles are congruent by side angle side, SAS. Which of the following options best describes Angie's statement?
Okay, does anybody have an idea? And then we'll talk about it.
What you said, what do we think the answer is?
Yeah, what do you guys think?
A.
A. So now let's talk about it.
Process of elimination.
All right, so A states Angie is correct since SAS requires 2 pairs of congruent sides and 1 pair of congruent angles. Okay, so SAS requires, this is true, right? 2 pairs of congruent sides and 1 pair of congruent angles. So that's a true statement, right? Do we agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. Well, so let's actually draw it out so that we can just double check. So let's say these two are congruent. Well, we think they're congruent. And I have one pair of congruent sides. I have another pair of congruent sides. So I have
Then
two
you
pairs
have
of congruent sides.
then
And
a
I
congruent
have
pair of angles.
one pair of congruent angles. Is this SAS?
No,
What's this?
wait.
That is SSA.
This is SSA. So
Or
are they
ASS.
congruent?
No, that doesn't exist.
No, that does not exist. So what's the key word that you always need to have when you're talking about SAS?
You showed us this, but I forgot.
They have to be in the right order.
It has to be in the right order. So which angle has to be the same?
B?
B. B is the only one that will make this work out. So what is that? What's the name of that angle? There's a very specific word that has to be used.
Wait, no.
Wait, it starts with a C or something? No, like,
Not a C. Does anyone want to jump in here?
I think, but no. What's the first letter?
I.
I?
Mm-hmm.
Isosceles?
Not isosceles.
In circle, just joking. No.
Not in circle.
Um,
Where on this triangle, so forget the letters, just very specifically, how would you describe the location of that angle?
interior, no. It's like on the top.
It's on the top, but in reference to the two sides, where is it?
is Emily right?
It's not in center, no.
Oh,
It's like in between them.
It's in between the two angles, right? That's why we call it SAS, because the A has to be in between. So there's a word for that. It starts with an I,
What's the second letter?
N.
yes.
In. Oh my gosh.
I'm just gonna keep adding letters till someone gets it.
Okay, keep adding letters. Ink. Just joking. Included?
Included.
Yay.
Oh, don't celebrate that, Tyrone.
Yeah, Tyrone.
Okay, it has to be the included angle, all right? And if it doesn't say included angle, then you can't be sure because it could have been any of these angles. It could have been, like we said before, it could have been this one, and that would not be correct. It could have been the other one, that would also not be correct. So when you use SAS, it has to be two pairs of corresponding sides and the included angle. So this would have to say one pair of included. It would have to say the word included somewhere. So it can't be A. Cannot be A. So if it's not A, look again. Everybody look at your remaining options and let's see if we can change it to the correct answer.
E?
Did you say B or D?
E.
D as in dog?
Yes.
Okay. D. Angie is incorrect since triangles with two pairs of congruent sides and one pair of congruent angles do not necessarily meet SAS criterion. That is correct. Because like we just said,
It has
it's
to be
not
included.
yeah, it's not necessarily going to work out. It'll only work out if you're talking about the included angle. So this one is a little bit tricky. This is the type of problem where you really have to read carefully and think through each answer choice very, very, very carefully. Questions on number 3?
Nope.
Awesome. All right. Number 4. In the figure below, triangle OPN is a reflected image of triangle MPN. So it's a reflection. And states that the reflections preserve side lengths. So side PN is congruent to PN, PM is congruent to PO, and MN is congruent to ON. Therefore, the triangles are congruent. Tim states that reflections preserve angle measurements. So angle MPN is congruent to angle ONP, angle MNP is congruent to angle OPN, and angle PMN is congruent to angle PON. Therefore, the triangles are congruent. Who is correct?
I think both of them.
Yeah, we think both of them are.
You guys think both? What does anybody else
Yeah.
want to chime in and maybe agree or disagree? Do we all agree that it's going to be B? Because I've only heard from 3 students, and I have 9 people in the room, so I just want to make sure.
Come on, classmates.
No? Alejandro, Daniel, Emily, Eric. Jalen seems to have left. Okay. All right, so B seems to be the winner. Now let's check it out. I'm trying to my best to copy this triangle. Okay. So I'm just doing the same the same picture here. Because I want to look at Anne's statement versus Tim. So what is Anne saying?
PN is congruent to PN, which is reflexive, and
Mhm.
PM is congruent to PO, and MN is congruent to ON.
Okay, so she's basically showing us that all of the side lengths are going to be congruent to each other. Tim is saying what?
That angle MPN is congruent to angle ONP, and angle MNP is congruent to angle OPN, and angle PMN is congruent to angle PQN.
Okay,
PON.
so I'm just matching here. It's a little hard. Let me make this a little bit bigger actually so that I can be more accurate. I'm just blowing it up a little bit. Okay, so he's saying that MPN is congruent to ONP. ONP is here. And then that MNP is congruent to ONP, OPN. So this one. And then finally up here and down here. So it's a little bit messy, but what did Jalen say? Oh. Okay, so basically Anne's argument is that the 2 triangles are congruent because the side lengths match up, and Tim is saying that the 2 triangles are congruent because the angles match up. One of them is wrong.
Really?
Which theorem can Anne use to support her claim?
Wait,
Which theorem can Anne use? Which triangle congruence theorem?
Mm,
Look at the diagram. This is not a tough question. Which congruence theorem?
SSS?
Okay, this is SSS.
Oh.
Congruence theorem does Tim have?
AAA, which doesn't exist.
AAA, which does not exist.
So it's only Annie.
So only Anne is correct because Tim does not have enough information to make a true
Oh, yeah.
statement.
Because
might-
he's only talking about angles.
He's only talking about angles, exactly.
Yeah.
If he
yeah,
had
like,
sides, it would work. Oh,
Mhm.
sorry.
but Ms. Lopez, right? The triangles are congruent, just not by what Tim said, right?
Yeah,
Because reflections preserve like the triangles, they're just like flipping them to another side. If it was like a dilation, they wouldn't be congruent or something like that. You know?
exactly. So they are congruent. It's just that Tim is not using the correct statement for it. It's like if I was like, oh, the sky is blue because of all of the nitrogen in the air. Well, the sky is blue, but it's not because of the nitrogen. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right, cool. Number 5. Which table correctly lists the reasons to prove that angle 1 is congruent to angle 3? So we had to look through. This one was kind of annoying because you had to like look through each and every single one. But does
You
anyone?
only have to look at 4 and 5 to make it simpler.
That's true. Yeah, the only thing that changes between all of them was 4 and 5. So does anyone have one that they feel is correct, or does anyone have one that they know is wrong?
B and D.
B and D are wrong?
Yes.
Okay, good. Why?
Because it says reflexive property, but it's talking about angles.
Mhm.
Angles, I don't think can be reflexive, only the side lengths.
You're correct. Good. Reflexive property only matters when we're talking about like a side length. That is the same. All right, so that's out. And then between C and A, what do you guys think?
C.
C?
Yeah.
I'm
C.
rethinking my answer.
You're rethinking your answer.
Yes. I know
Okay.
it's either A or C. First I thought C, but now I'm thinking it might be A. But I'm gonna stick with C.
What's the
This
only
is for
difference
learning
between
too.
C and A?
Step 5.
Step 5, subtraction property of equality versus addition property of equality. So in order to get that answer, you have to look at the step before that. Look at step 4. How did they
Transitive.
go from step 4 to step 5?
Oh, so you see that's why, because I was thinking about it. Tyrone has said A. It's A now because they eliminated the 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
So wouldn't that mean they subtracted it?
Yeah, they subtracted. Yeah, because they went
Yeah,
from.
so Tyrone was right.
Nice
That's
job,
why I was
Tyrone.
rethinking it. I'm like, he has a point.
Nice job,
Yay.
Tyrone. So yes, because in step 4 you have angle 1 plus angle 2 equals angle 2 plus angle 3. And in order to eliminate that 2, we're not going to add again, because if you added it, you would just end up with 2 times that, which doesn't really help. No, you don't want to add it, you want to subtract it. So by subtracting from both sides, it eliminates the angle 2. So that's why it is A. Questions on number 5.
No. I do
This
have
was
a
the type of
statement.
problem where like if you were able to like since you guys were able to eliminate C and D or B and D, that already made your chances better for getting the right answer. It just didn't work out in your favor this time.
Never
Number
second
6.
guess yourself.
Number 6. So for number 6, it's asking us which equation is parallel to y equals negative 3x plus 4 and passes through that point. What do I know about parallel lines?
They have the same slope, but wait.
Yeah,
Same slope, different y-intercept.
Yeah, that.
good. Same slope, different y-intercept. So the equation has to have the same slope. So what answers can I get rid of?
A and C.
A and C. A and C, by the way, that's not a parallel line, but what would that be?
Perpendicular.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
because it's the
perpendicular.
reciprocal.
Opposite reciprocal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, opposite.
Okay, so we know A and C are out. And then, okay, I know the slope has to be -3, but how do I figure out the correct y-intercept?
I know. I taught my classmates.
Okay,
Your class.
Mate.
go ahead.
Okay, so you're supposed to plug it in. You put the x into the x and then the y into the y.
Yeah, you plug the x into the x and the y into the y. So which of these is the x and which of these is the y?
The -3 is the x and the 4 is the y.
Good. So I'm going to plug in
Game code.
4 equals, oh, and I'm sorry, this should say, this is b, because what we're trying to figure out is b. We don't know b, so we're trying to figure it out. So 4 equals -3 times -3 plus b. Okay, -3 times -3,
9.
9. And now I have to take that away from both sides. So what do I end up with?
-5 is equal to b.
Good. -5 is equal to b. So my y-intercept is -5, which means which one is correct?
B.
B is correct, exactly. Questions on this kind of problem? Those of you who weren't sure how to find the y-intercept, would you like me to do it? I'm going to do it again with, because there's a similar problem coming up, but do you have any questions on that right now? All right. All right, here was the one that might have been the most challenging for you guys. This definitely was. I was thinking about giving you a word bank, and then I said, you know what? I'm not going to give you a word bank because I want you to struggle a little bit and just see how much you already know. Because I bet you guys know a little bit more than you think it is.
I know 2 answers.
Okay, so which one's the one we definitely know?
Given for number
Yeah.
1.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Number 3 is alternate interior angles.
Good. You're correct, but I'm going to wait till we get there. Okay. So I don't want to
Alright.
skip around. Number 2, does anyone have an idea for number 2? So number 2 is telling me that angle 4 plus angle 2 plus angle 5 will equal 180.
Angle sum theorem? Wait.
That's one of them. Mm-hmm. So,
Okay.
so the reason this was tricky is because this has 2 reasons, and they weren't really clear about that. But one of those
Wait, what was
reasons,
the other reason?
one of those is the angle sum theorem. And does anyone have
Emily said definition of a straight angle.
She got it. Good job, Emily.
Good job,
Definition
Emily.
of straight angle. Teamwork.
Hey.
Good job. Yes, so the 2 reasons are definition of a straight angle and angle sum theorem, because on the one hand, we know it's going to make a straight line, but on the other hand, you know you have to add them up in order to do so. Questions on reason number 2?
No.
All right. Reason number 3. Now, Tyrone, let's take a look.
Alternate interior angles.
Alternate interior angles, exactly, because we know that A, B, and XY are parallel to each other, and since we have parallel lines, that makes alternate interior angles.
It was kind of hard to see at first, but I extended the lines and then I could see it.
That always helps. So if you want, let me do that as well so that we can really see it. So if we extend this one and then extend this one, it makes it a little bit easier to visualize that you have 2 parallel lines cut by a transversal. Questions on reason number 3?
Nope.
Awesome, awesome. All right. Then this next one's a little bit, do you guys know the word pedantic? Have you guys ever heard this? Is a good vocab word, pedantic. So when something is pedantic, it's kind of like unnecessary, but also necessary at the same time. Like it's kind of obvious, but we have to do it anyways. That's kind of what this is. So this one's a little bit obvious because this is saying that, actually, no, the next, Yeah. This is the one that's a little bit pedantic. Okay. Because this is saying the same thing. This is saying angle 4 is equal to angle 1 and angle 5 is equal to angle 3. So saying the exact same thing we already noticed, right? But here's the difference. In step 3, when I read step 3 out loud, I say angle 4 is congruent to angle 1 and angle 5 is congruent to angle 3. When I read step 4, however, I'm saying the measure of angle 4 equals the measure of angle 1 and the measure of angle 5 equals the measure of angle 3. So on the one hand, I'm saying they're congruent, but on the other hand, I'm saying they're equal. Does anyone think maybe they know what this one is? Yeah, that's it. Emily's got a definition
Emily always be stealing our answers.
of congruent angles. It's like one of those that's just like, duh. Like, obviously, if they're congruent, they're going to be equal. But sometimes they throw that in there. All right, and then finally, the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3 equals 180 degrees. Any questions? Any suggestions?
I said
Triangle.
the triangle sum theorem.
Well,
But that's not
unfortunately, we can't use that because that's what we're trying to prove.
Linear.
Is that not the oh way?
So let me explain myself. Look what John writes the proof below to show that the sum of the angles in a triangle is equal to 180. That's the triangle sum theorem. He's trying to prove the triangle sum theorem. So you can't use the proof within the proof. You can't say the
Wow.
sky is blue because it's blue.
Moving. If the sky is blue, it's blue.
The sky is blue because it's blue. You can't do that. You have to use other
Look at
theorems.
it, blue.
No, this is going to be substitution
Why
property.
is the sky blue?
Lots
Is
of
it-
reasons.
Oh,
Substitution. It has to do with the gas, the makeup of the gases.
oh.
And where exactly are we substituting? So take a look.
4, wait,
Yeah.
Is
4
it
got replaced
4?
with
1.
1 because of
Wait,
this
yeah.
statement. And then
2
5
was the, yeah.
Yeah, 2's the
5 got
same.
replaced.
Yeah, because of that statement. So they substituted from step 4 to step 5. So that was it. So, okay, look, there were definitely a couple of challenging spots, but you guys pretty much did all of this entirely working together, but each of you had at least one piece of the puzzle. So I didn't put any work here. You guys did it all. Any questions?
Big brain class.
Very good job. I'm very proud of you. You guys have come a long way with these proofs.
Miss, tell Emily to stop lying.
Hey, we'll find out tomorrow.
I will Miss, tell Emily to stop lying. She's
We'll find out tomorrow. It might be a tight race, but we'll see. All right, number 8. Segment BD is a mid-segment of triangle AEC. Which equation
is
could be
easy.
used? Which one's this one going to be?
B.
What did you say?
B.
I'm sorry.
You said B.
B as in boy.
B as in boy. Anybody disagree?
Me. I'm joking. I agree.
Good. Yeah, we know that the longer one will be equal to twice the
That's why you
shorter
gotta
one.
put the 2.
What is another way to write the same exact statement?
1/2.
Yeah, so 1/2 of what?
1/2 times 39x minus 11 is equal to 17x plus 6.
Good. That is also a
Okay.
true statement. All right, so you might see it one way, you might see it the other way, but either way, that's it. Questions on number 8?
Nose.
All right, last one, number 9. What is the equation of a line parallel to 3x plus 4 equals y and passing through 4, (-2? What was the annoyingly dumb thing that they did in this problem?
It's basically the same thing, but it's like different. kind of.
So what's weird about this, the way this equation is written?
It's not like in like the right order. It's not in y equals mx plus b. It's mx plus b equals y.
Right. So you just had to realize this is still y equals mx plus b. They just wrote it backwards. All right. So it's y equals mx plus b, which means the slope has to be
The same.
the same. So which ones are out?
C and D.
Good. C and D would be not parallel, but
Perpendicular.
Perpendicular.
perfect. All right. And now here's my point, 4 comma negative 2. So when I plug it all in, what do I plug in for y?
-2.
What do I plug in for m?
3.
What about for x?
4.
Good. And then plus b. 3 times 4 is
12.
12. So what do I get for b?
You would get -14.
Negative 14. Good. So I know that my equation at the end of the day has to be y equals 3x minus 14. Which of those is correct?
B.
B. Good, good. All right. That was everything. You guys did pretty well. You know, there were definitely a couple mistakes here and there, but I think you guys now will not make those same mistakes, right? All right. So no homework tonight because all I want you guys to be focusing on is studying. I will post the links to all the review worksheets that we've done so far so that you have something to look at tonight. I'll post that on Teams. And if you guys have any questions, you know, you can always contact me. All right. So study well. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Ms. Lopez, do you know how many questions are on the quiz?
Very good question. I actually don't know because the quiz goes up tomorrow or the test goes up tomorrow, so I haven't had the chance to see it yet.
Okay.